STP.
Hello guys and welcome to today's STPL. My name is Kix. You are joining me for a global team league. The format of our series all the way up to the final is best of 5. The grand finals will be best of 7. Set 1 to 4, the lineups are selected in advance and all the games are played at the same time. And then in set 5 we do have the ace match, which means every player can compete again, just in case you're not sure how team leagues operate. But good, we're back here again. It's been a kind of crazy day for me. I've had a really rough day at work, so I'm kind of glad to be done, but I'm also looking forward to a break after the stream as well. So let's head in to introduce our first two teams. Don't want to keep ourselves waiting too long before we start the game, given the fact I'm late already. Let's go. Okay, so Valhalla team is going to be our first team over here, starting us off. They are doing really well this season, 6 wins. They are on 3 losses, given the fact they have penalties, but I basically need to sort out the database a little bit, and I got very lazy over the weekend. That seems to be a very common problem with me at the moment, where it's been so hot, I just have no energy to do anything. So like, as soon as I'm not doing anything, I just sit and don't move for like 8 hours at a time. It's not good. But it makes me cool down, so it's all good. It's getting a little bit warmer in the UK again today, but it's not too bad. But VT have done pretty well throughout the season. They did split off from Wico in the middle of Season 3, which means we're seeing a lot of their Mexican players coming back here, including their captain SFCA, making his debut for the first time in a very long time in the STPL. So it'll be good to see him again. They do have Last still though. Let's have a look at their opponents. It's going to be aSh. aSh, one of the more storied, historied clans outside of Korea. They're showing kind of some of their newer players here, as well as Radley, the Ghost King himself, Black Sun, Desakwe, and Patak. So Black Sun's actually working as one of the, I think he's the main captain of aSh now. You have, I don't really understand how it works, because you have Hit 'em Up, who is the current aSh captain for STPL. And then you have Black Sun, who's above him, but I know Tashadan is still, I think Tashadan is still a member of aSh, so I'm not really sure how their captaincy works, but Black Sun is one of them. He's not played in the STPL before, so it's going to be his debut match. Radley has been on a little bit of a losing streak, but still doing pretty well, and obviously he leads to amazing games usually, so I'm hoping we'll get another good one. Desakwe doing okay. Patak hasn't had the best luck so far, but I reckon with the teams we've got, we should have a relatively close series here. Now if we have a look at the lineups, we're going to start with the ZVP. It's going to be Hasu versus Black Sun. We're going to have a PVT between SFCA and Radley on Monty Hall, which means we're probably going to end up with a really nice set of games. And FakeFin, thanks for letting me know he's from Croatia. Can you remind me on Discord, and then I'll remember to put it in the database. People keep telling me stuff in the stream chat, and I just forget it. I forget it by the next day. So if you just message me in Discord, that I'll make sure to update that for next time. We're gonna have a PvP because, of course, it's an STPL series, and PvP is the way. It's the only way we'll get through the series on Andromeda. And game 4, which would have been a ZVZ, was a walkover for Valhalla team. Unfortunately, Patak, I don't remember exactly what happened. Patak didn't show up. Okay, so we won't have Patak today anyway, so the flag doesn't really matter too much. Let's have a look at the two players we've got. We have got two brand new players for the STPL here, so not really too much to be said. We're going to have aSh for Valhalla team and Black Sun for aSh. I did kind of go into who Black Sun was, so that's fine. Let's have a look at the map we're going to be going into as well. It's going to be Byzantium 3. Now, the PvZs we've had here so far have been relatively quick. Yangachi versus Eriador was really, really good here, but Eriador unfortunately losing out at the end. So it's going to be up to aSh here to try and get some wins back on the board for Zerg, as Protoss are really starting to run away with it in this matchup. But Terran have been killing it on Byzantium 3 in the STPL. Now, historically, Terran didn't really do too well on this map, so it's kind of cool. But let's get into game number 1. It's aSh versus Black Sun. Okay, the game has begun, and starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we have the Green Zerg fighting for Valhalla team. It's aSh. And their opponent spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner in the purple fighting for aSh is Black Sun. Okay, so I wonder what we'll see out of both of these players. I have not seen either of these players play a single game before, so this is going to be brand new for me. Looks like aSh forgot to look at the map, which is always a good sign. I mean, he is Zerg, so it doesn't really matter super early. He is going to find his opponent anyway. Looks like we are going to have a...
Easily amused, huh?
Oh, thank you, Benevolent Bear, for the 7th month resub, man. Means a lot. I also got a cute Pride Bear, which looks like a... No, it's not cute Pride Bear. It says bear before, but it's like a bee, which is called Pride Cute. Thank you. Yeah, he can technically request a PP if he wants to go and check the map, but at this point, when you've not looked at the map at all, I think it's a little bit too late to go look. And it is definitely not a bee bear, lucky noob. All I can say is I cannot wait until summer ends. Like, as soon as summer ends, I'm gonna dance around the street. I need autumn. I need autumn now. I need fall. I need it to happen. Summer is just too much for me. My poor English body. My poor pale English body. Body is failing. And even though it's only 20 degrees, I feel boiling, and I have no idea why. Okay, so next is coming up after a Forge Fast expand here for aSh. Black Sun getting ready for an expansion as well. I believe this was a an overpull. And Packrat saying like I can't wait for summer to end is an English thing. Most English people like summer. Most English people hate the rain and hate the cold, and I'm the opposite. Just if it rained all the time, if it was cold all the time, I would be in heaven. It'd be brilliant. Rain and snow all year round. Make it happen. I want it. Why couldn't it have been global warming and not global cooling? Thanks, boomers. Okay, Hydralisk Den coming up here for Hasu after the third hatchery. Now this base does have a gas on. There is a third mineral only outside of the natural, but we're not going to see that too much. We do have the probe getting in and scouting the fact there is a Hydralisk Den. I don't think he's actually, he's not actually seen the third hatchery just yet, but he knows there's no lair. Now this could go either one of two ways. We're either going to see a very, oh, that was a nice pick off on the probe. That drone did a pretty good job. But basically, we're either going to see the Hydralisk bust work, or it's going to fail horrifically. But then there's also another, there's like a third way that this can go as well, where essentially we end up in an hour-long game, where the Hydralisk bust just did about enough to like reset things to make both players even again. Now, I don't know if we are going to see a Hydra bust. It is very, very likely, given there's no lair just yet. But we've got the core coming up. This is quite late. We've got a third gateway coming in as well, so there's going to be a lot of... No, that's a second gateway, sorry. So there's not going to be that many units. So Black Sun is going to be relying entirely on cannons. This isn't even a full wall off. And ironically, this has somehow worked out. Like, if Speedlings just ran in before these cannons were done, it was pretty much game over. But I think we did see a skip of Ling speed. We've got a lot of Hydras starting to pop out now. Well, at least I thought we had, but it looks like we're just going to have a load of drones. This is just a weird build by Hasu. I'm not really sure what the plan is here. It's one of those moments where I feel like he is going to go for a Hydra Bust, but it seems like a quite high economy Hydra Bust. Wait, is this a 973? If it was, that would make sense. Yeah, 9... No, that's 7-3 and 9. So yeah, it's a 973. This is one of the more common Hydra Busts from the modern era of Brood War. Essentially, it's not super all-in like the old style of 3-hatch Hydra was, and you do have the ability to transition out of it very quickly into a 4th hatchery. So I wonder if we're going to see Hasu do that. He is building up a lot of money, and there's the 4th hatchery, so it is going to go into more of a macro-orientated game after this. But obviously, if you lose all of your Hydras to cannons, you're not going to be in a good position to defend. Now, we do have the Citadel up at home, with the Zealot leg speed coming in. But is this going to be fast enough to really achieve too much? Looks like +1 should be cancelled. As long as range is done on the Hydras, they should be able to get this forge without taking too much damage. But look at Black Sun. He's already building a ton of cannons. He knows his tech is a little bit delayed. And he's even going into Dragoons to clean up these Overlords because there's no Stargate. Back at home, the lair transition has activated. Going up to 5th hatchery is Hasu. So this isn't an all-in or anything like that. He's doing well with his... Oh, this is so annoying. It's so annoying for Protoss to deal with this, but... At some point you just have to either push out like he's going to, or you just take the hit and lose your forge. You really don't want to lose it, but if you can bait out some of the units into the cannons, that's going to be quite helpful. And it looks like by doing that, it's actually made it impossible for Hasu to attack the forge, which is really, really nice for Black Sun. Lurker upgrade coming in. The Hydras are attacking the forge again, but the upgrade is getting closer and closer to finishing. Looks like Hasu going to back up, so the upgrade should be done. And this is when Black Sun needs to think about going for a counter. He knows there wasn't too many Hydras. He should know, because of that, that there's a transition happening behind this. Now he thinks it's Mutalisks. He thinks because there's not many Hydras, he's certain that there's a Spire somewhere. Now he can't actually confirm that because there's no Corsair to scout. He's got no way of sending a probe out. And these two cannons in the main, they're going to do absolutely nothing. This is cannons that could have been gateways, it could have been more units, it could have been more tech. We finally have a Templar Archives up and running. But I mean, this is 4 Zealots and 2 Dragoons pushing out into the middle of the map. There's now 5 hatcheries from our Zerg player. Like, this really shouldn't do too much. Looks like the Zealots want to run by the Dragoons for some reason, running into death, but it looks like 4 Zealots do get into the main. This is at the very least going to get Mescal on everything that's going on, which at this point in the game is super important. Interesting choice to group up the drones. Not really doing too much in terms of drilling, but it does lose a couple of drones for 4 Zealots and a Dragoon, so that's actually pretty good. Now aSh is actually doing a really good job preparing for the next stages of the game. There's Overlords here, there's Hydras. There is absolutely no way any form of DT is going to do any damage, which is super important to worry about in PvZ. Like, the amount of pro games of ZVP that have been lost to a player just running in with a DT and killing like 20 million drones, it's just so sad. But we've got another cannon coming up. Look at this aSh, or Black Sun. Black Sun has just got no interest whatsoever pushing forward. He's actually going to go for a 3rd base hidden in the bottom right hand corner. It's very unlikely that aSh is going to scout for this, at least until he's moved forward. And this is actually going to work out pretty well for Black Sun, because Black Sun is going to have a defended base over here with cannons. He's going to be able to get the other main, get some gateways up over there, and he's not going to get hard contained. And that's what the scary thing is in PvZ. Like, if you get hard contained, if you don't have that many gateways, if you don't have observers, which he still doesn't have, you can't break out through the lurker field. Now this is very unfortunate. Looks like +1 armor is going to go down. Interestingly, not going for +2 attack. That is definitely a strange choice. But if Black Sun is preparing to go into a later game, it isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the amount of money that's gone into cannons this game is crazy. Like, he really should do his best to save this. Like, losing this is actually a pretty big deal. Like, I don't understand why he didn't rebuild his forge in his main. Like, I think that definitely would have been a little bit better, but obviously when you're in the heat at the moment, playing the game, it can be a little bit hard to make those micro decisions. Just because you've got a lot going on. Forge is about to go down. We'll keep an eye out for that. Last hit. There we go. The forge goes down. The upgrade was cancelled. So it is just going to be 1 attack, 1 armor. And I just noticed the Zealots have base 1 armor. How is that fair? How is that fair, guys? +1 base armor on a normal unit. Sickening. This is why Zealots are S tier units, guys. Even Lurkers have base 1 armor as well. What's up with that? It's a cheat, that is. Now, there's still no forge coming back in, I don't believe. And oh, there's double forge. Okay, so he's rebuilt 2 forges. He's still not started +2 attack. But he should start that immediately. That is definitely more important than the armor. Storm coming out here, which is going to help him push forward against the lurkers. But good movement by aSh, actually going to keep this back. Oh no. I mean, that was an okay storm, but he had another storm there that he could have used. That High Templar definitely got a little bit too far ahead of himself there. It's always oh no. Oh no, don't move forward with that one. No, it's not got storm energy. Oh no! Okay, Black Sun's definitely struggling a little bit in this game. Lucky Noob out here defending lurkers, saying that they deserve the +1 armor. I mean, is the fact they're not invisible under the ground enough? Okay, so not too much is happening right now. A big lurker field is being set up outside of Black Sun's base. We do have a base mining down here in the bottom left with a lot of High Templar defending it. So that is perfectly fine, and Alpha Jakura has turned up. King of Soul, king of the STPL captains, given how well he's done. Claiming that lurkers should get extra armor from the ground. I'm not so sure about that one, Chief. They're already good enough. 4th base coming up here for Hasu. 5th, okay, this isn't a 5th base, it's actually Lings. Now Lings don't have base 1 armor. Why do Zealots? Marines don't have base 1 armor. Okay, so the Overlord has scouted in the bottom right hand corner. Looks like neither player really willing to attack right now. I mean, Hasu doesn't need to push in. All he has to do is continue to secure this area. That was a very good storm. Oh my goodness. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see how well this goes. It can be so difficult to break out, especially when there's this many lurkers here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, looks like Black Sun is not going to be leaving his base anytime soon. That's a little bit rough. Poor Black Sun definitely getting caught off guard a little bit. Doesn't have too many gateways, only 5, 6 in the main. We've got 7 if you count this one. His money is going up and up and up, but he is spending it. So it's not like the replay's bugged. They are both just trying to make sure they can get what they need to get. Now, the very fact that Black Sun has this base and is getting away with it is doing a good job. Now, I am starting to wonder if this is bugged, because there is a lot of probes here that aren't mining. Oh no, oh my goodness. What a storm drop. Oh man. Wait, that wasn't nearly as good as I thought it was. I didn't even see a shuttle get built. Now, a lot of units are coming out for both players. They are actually building stuff, so I don't think that it's bugged. We've got a 4th base coming up down here in the bottom right. And if you can split the map as Protoss versus Zerg, eventually, if you can weather the storm long enough, you can bleed out your Zerg opponent. Now, I'm not really sure if that's what we're going to see happen here, but Reavers, Archons, both very, very good tools in the late game to deal with pretty much everything that Zerg has. Reavers in this situation would be a lot better than Storm. I say that a lot in PvZ, but genuinely it really would. Now looks like he has managed to clear up some of the units, but the problem is every unit you kill, it just gets rebuilt. Like, there's so many hatcheries up now for the Zerg player that it's really, really rough. Now, Hasu does know about the bottom right-hand bases, but I mean, realistically, they're not a major deal. Like, if he can just get Defiler Tech out, which he's still not going for, there's no hive. I don't even think there's a Queen's Nest, which is an interesting decision. But this could actually lead to Hasu's demise. If you don't go for Defilers, like, imagine if you had Dark Swarm here. This is almost impossible to come back from as Protoss. Now, a lot of gateways coming up in the bottom right hand corner, but when you look at the army that Hasu, or the Black Sun has, why is it killing a Zealot? Okay, that's so weird. But we've got 2-2 coming in most likely. Nope, just 2-1, no 2-2. The trouble is Huh? Why does he keep attacking this poor Zealot? What has the Zealot done? Why does he keep trying to kill it? Yeah, the big problem we've got for Black Sun is his army just isn't very good. Now, he is going to try and push forward. This is a good set of storms, but he needs Reavers. He needs Reavers and he needs Archons. Even Dark Archons would be very good here. Maelstrom on these Lurkers would be amazing. And then Maelstrom against, or Feedback against Defilers would be perfect. But there's still no hive. This should be a Queen's Nest. Finally, the Queen's Nest coming in. Oh, is he trying to kill this cannon? Is this what the problem is? That's kind of funny. Okay. Oh, now that's a good storm. Another High Templar going down. Another 2 High Templar actually going down there. That's definitely not the best choice. We've finally got aSh getting ready to push the bottom right as well. Now the problem is, he's pushing in against a million cannons. He's not going to be able to break this. Now another couple of High Templar do go down. Where are all these High Templar dying? I swear I'm not seeing them die. I just keep hearing the noise. Oh, there was the storm drop, wasn't there? I don't think it did any damage though. Oh no, he didn't storm drop, he transferred probes. Well, it looks like he's actually broken out the front. Now this is very good for him, because breaking out the front here means he has the ability to take this bottom base and build up to his two armies joining. Because right now he's got an army coming up in the bottom right, and an army coming up over here on the left. High Templar once again getting very close to death, but managing to hold on by the skin of their teeth. Now, here is where things start to get a little bit tricksy. We've got a lot of zealots running around the outside of the map. They're going to run into some Zerg units, which are quite heavily upgraded right now. It is only 2-1 against 2-1 melee, and we do have 2-2. No, it's 2-2 melee now for aSh. And the base has been scouted finally. We do have Black Sun finally broken out of his main base. Now, he really should look to take this expansion and this 6 o'clock expansion. If you can hold this area here, and this area here, you essentially control all three of your, or all of your side of the map. I mean, this ramp is quite useful to hold as well, but it's not the most important ramp. I mean, the cool thing is we're getting to a point where all of the bases are about to be taken, so we are getting a nice long macro game in ZVP, but I can't help but feel it's been kind of a slugfest so far, because neither player has really had a super great economy, and there's just been a lot of armies breaking out into lurker fields. Yeah, there's been a lot of like pushing out, a lot of trading, but this is one of those styles of ZVP from the Zerg side where essentially you let your Protoss opponent bleed themselves out. Now, if it wasn't for the fact he managed to expand to the bottom right earlier, this game would be 100% done. Like, the very fact that Black Sun got that hidden base has actually kept him in the game, and now he's in a position where he can actually go and kill the top right hand base, but the trouble is, where are the observers? There's High Templar here, there's no observers, he cannot deal with the lurkers. And the Hydra is on the ramp at the bottom doing a ton. Looks like we are going to have a couple of storms, not the best storms. So it does look like Black Sun's army is going to fall in the top right hand corner. But yeah, I mean, that was very little damage done. There was some drones that went down. But Black Sun doesn't have that much money to be able to replenish his army. Like, he's in a rough spot. Now, aSh is building up more and more units, and it's really starting to get out of hand here. We do finally have the Hive Up Defiler Mound coming in with Consume, and both players are getting ready to really go into their super late game. But there still isn't that many Archons. There's still not that many, well, there's no Reavers, I don't believe. And Reavers in this position wins Black Sun the game. Like, if you Reaver push out of your main, all of a sudden, that was a friggin' fantastic storm right there. Now, it looks like that that was going to be a lurker drop coming in, but nice storms by Black Sun here. But here we go, there is a lurker drop in the main base. Looks like there was one in the natural coming, but it got killed by the overlords. That is 14 kills overall, which isn't too bad. High Templar gonna clean those up, no problem. Wait, did that first lurker dodge the storm? That was very oh my goodness, no. Oh, it just keeps happening. The lurker drops keep on coming. We've got lurkers transferring back into... Oh no, he's transferring all his probes back into the main, and there's gonna be another lurker drop coming in there. This is not good. He's having to use so much storm energy to clean this out. And he's run out of storms. Oh no, he hasn't. But here we go. Another drop coming in. This is going to be a ton of damage. 47 probes as this is happening. Let's see the Lurker's Burrow. Looks like he has seen it. Pulls away immediately. And there is finally an Archon coming in. The Archon is going to be super important. That was a nice pull away, but the Lurkers just didn't want to burrow for some reason. Lucky to be playing a turn-based game. We've got both players really macroing up a lot though, so this is kind of cool. I mean, look how many High Templar he's building now. He's got so much gas that it's worth it, but there's no upgrades coming. Like, where are the upgrades? He's just building High Templar now. Can he control all of this storm? I mean, as I mentioned before, Archons are the best units in ZVP late game. They do so much damage. Now, the Lurkers have burrowed, which makes this a little bit more annoying. There is a High Templar here to help. Oh, no, he missed it. Oh. Oh, no. Well, the Zealots are going to come here and help clean this up. Thing is, both of these players are slightly lower level than what we're maybe used to in the STPL, but it's really cool they've both come out to represent their teams. They're both pretty evenly skilled as well, which makes this kind of cool. We've had a lot of back and forth in terms of breaking out of Lurker Contains, setting up new Lurker Contains. Here we go, he's dropped another Lurker drop down here, and more probes are going to start to fall. Now, there is a disclaimer I want to say about this game. When Black Sun sent, as a matter of fact, we'll wait until the end of the game. Oh, that was a nice storm, getting both of them there. And as Trojan says, they are fighting till the very last, because both of them, I mean, they're taking every single base on the map. We've got the 3 and 9 o'clock bases being taken. We've got Lurkers on the low ground. This is so much Lurker harass that's come in this game. I don't even know if they reach, though. Oh, there goes the storm. The Lurkers back up, though, perfectly timed on that one. Oh, that's a much better storm. Nicely done. Getting both of those Lurkers there, making it a little bit easier to kind of clean this up. We've had Defiler tech for a while. Oh, here we go. We do have a Defiler coming in. This could be the end of the game, though, because Defiler is very, very strong. Plague is incredibly good against all Protoss units minus Archons. Look at those storms. Really, really nice storms coming in, helping defend against this. Wow, he's actually going to hold on really, really nicely against that amount of units. There is still more and more Lurkers coming in, though. They can reach the minerals from down here. And it's so difficult for Black Sun right now. He's just dealing with so many units, so many Lurkers, all over the place. And just look at how many more units Hasu's building. He's got so many hatcheries across the entire map. If he wasn't maxed or close to maxed right now, we would see him building off of all of these hatcheries. And that's when things get really rough. Like, we are going to have the bottom right slowly but surely mining out, but the Archons staying alive over here on the right hand side. More and more Hydralisks coming in, going to help this out. And that is a beautiful storm. Oh my goodness, what a storm there. Now we've got more units back here, but they're stuck behind the amount of High Templar. We're actually adding on more drones as our Zerg player here. We've got a lot of units coming out of a lot of the hatcheries. We've got an Ultralisk cavern as well. And the problem that Black Sun has is it's going to be very, very difficult to ever push across the map. There's so many units from Zerg that you need Reavers. Like, if you have like 5 Reavers at each base defending, oh, nice storm. Looks like we are going to have another couple of storms coming in here. It'd be very nice if you could use all the energy. It's so hard to storm that well and that consecutively. It looks like he does miss out on a couple. We've got more units pushing in. Things are getting harder and harder for our Zerg player, or for our Protoss player here. But he's holding on to the very last. Looks like we are going to have another couple of High Templar going down. He's trying to hold on. He's trying to storm, trying to keep his units alive. There's so many units all over the place from Zerg. And I think this could be the nail in the coffin. All of the High Templar remaining are about to go down. This 4th base, or this 5th base, is going to go down as well. And it looks like Hasu is going to take game number 1. GG. Black Sun taps out and Hasu takes the series 1-0 over aSh. Now, there was a disclaimer when Black Sun submitted the aSh replays. He said, "Please do not cast my game." That's kind of funny. Wait, was it this week he said that? Yeah, it was. They were the first group to send their replays back, because they're always really well organized. And Black Sun was like, "Can you not cast my game, please?" But unfortunately, everyone's game gets casted. That's also a fortunate thing as well. But when we get back after this short break, we'll be heading into game number 2. Don't go anywhere.
STPL Season 3. Yeah. STPL DAS. Bio TVP. Wow. No problem. We got dragons to defend. Yeah. STPL DAS. STPL DAS. Mass Scout? Oh, I'm so afraid. We got Hydralisk to defend. Yes. STPL. STPL. Fantastic production. Fantastic casters. Fantastic prize pool. Only in STPL.
I'm about to overload my aggression inhibitors. Outstanding. Rock and roll.
I thought I muted myself. There we go. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading in to our second game. Trojan asks, can we get an update on the map contest? Unfortunately, my organizational skills of a map contest is a lot worse than I imagined it would be. And we are currently in the judging phase still, so as soon as there's movement on that, everyone will be let know. Because from there we're going to go into map contests and stuff, so in terms of like tournaments, which should be fun to get to see some games on the maps. But me and the other couple of judges are currently working on our own thoughts about each map, and then we're going to put them all together and judge from there. So I do apologize for all the delays on the map contest. It's definitely been a lot harder to organize than I thought it would be. I mean, I organize a league that lasts like 15 weeks, and I've done it now a good number of times. But doing a map contest is a lot harder because unlike with STPL, where I've got so many wonderful people helping me out with all the captains and whatnot, with the map contest it was me, and you had Freakling, who's one of the judges, kind of bugging me to get stuff done, and then I just wasn't doing it. So it's 100% my fault there's such a delay, but we will have the new maps for Season 4, so don't worry about it. We'll figure it out, and there's some very, very good maps in there as well. In terms of the STPL today, we're going to have the first game from SFCA in over a year. The last time he played in the STPL was back in Season 2, in March, where he played against Hyunwoo and did win. He's not had the best win ratio so far, and he is going to be up against one of the better players on aSh. It's going to be the one, the only, the Ghost King himself. Now Radley, also known as Ghost King, that's kind of the nickname I ended up giving him. A very, very good player in the STPL. He always comes out with unorthodox strategies, and there was a... I think it was on Team Liquid I saw this, but there was a thread where basically someone said something like... what was it? It was something like pro players know more than anyone else about the game, and like they know the game inside out, and Radley was like, oh, they should play with me and they'll learn some new stuff. Trojan's Mallow. Hey man. But yeah, he's like, oh, they should play with me and they'll learn some new styles. I love Radley's playstyle though. He's very likely to use ghosts, which is where the Ghost King nickname come from. And he's just a very fun player to watch. Like, no matter what matchup it is, what map it is, he'll always come out with something cool. He very nearly took down Terra in a TBT as well 2 weeks ago, and his game against Bishop on Neo Arkanoid was one of the best games we've ever had in the STPL. So hopefully we'll get another good one. They're going to be heading on to Monty Hall SE. Monty Hall SE, definitely one of the more popular maps, I would say, from Season 3. It's had some very, very good games. TVP, Terran are absolutely killing it on this map, so this is definitely a good sign for the Ghost King. But is SFCA going to be able to keep the pride of his team alive, take them to a 2-0 lead? Let's find out. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand corner, we have the Ghost King himself. It's Radley, fighting for aSh. And spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner, fighting in the yellow for VT. It's their captain. It's SFCA. Now, I wasn't actually planning on using any, cheerfuls today because I was being incredibly lazy, but there's one I have to throw up, because I don't think I've shown it so far, and it's a really good one. I may have shown it actually, but I'm going to show it again, because that's how much I love it. It's a really good one. It's not the Blade Runner one, it's the other Radley one that the Lucky Noob made. Someone else made the Blade Runner one. But here we go, let's have a look at the cheerful. It's a GIF as well. Kaboom! It's a nuke. The Ghost King getting supported by the nukes. Now this is a very interesting map. There's a lot of funny styles you can go for in many different ways. Unlucky Noob with a very interesting stat. That's actually the only GIF that's been made for a player so far. And well deserved, he says. Okay, it looks like SFCA is going to break his way through the middle and go for a scout. Now you can just mine this out and then expand, but you definitely want to try and scout early, especially against someone like Radley, because you never know what he's going to do. It was on Neo Arkanoid where he pushed out into the middle of the map and just went for 2 racks in the middle of Arkanoid. On Core Breach, he did a similar thing as well. It looks like he's actually going to play this a little bit more standard, definitely showing a different side to his playstyles here in STPL. Looks like SFCA just teching up normally, nothing too crazy going on there. He's definitely going to get ready to expand into the middle of the map. If you don't know this map, there is actually mineral walls on each side of your main. You see one here, and one here. And you have 3 bases outside of your main. Now those 3 bases are 3 naturals. You can go for one or the other if you want to, or you can go for all 3 if you want to play a little bit greedy, but that is very difficult to make work on this map. Looks like both players just going to play this perfectly standard, which, I mean, for us is a good thing, because it means we're going to get a relatively normal game, at least to begin with. And the longer the game goes on, the more chance there is that Radley is going to go for Ghosts, so I cannot complain. One of the best Monty Hall games of all time had Ghosts in it. It was Nalra versus Boxer on the original version of Monty Hall. Boxer did in fact lose the game, but it was incredible. There were so many lockdowns in that game, so many ghosts, and it was just a really, really good match. I would highly recommend it if you've not seen it before. Well, I suppose I just spoiled the outcome, but I mean, that game was over 10 years ago. I think it's kind of impossible to spoil something that's that old. Now, SFCA has interestingly chosen to mine out the minerals and then go in, rather than just skipping over the first minerals, but there we go. Looks like the probe does go down immediately, loses 8 of those minerals that he got from earlier. We've got a robo coming in, Citadel. Oh my god, he's going to DT drop, isn't he? There's going to be a Templar Archives coming up off of this probe. There we go. It's going to be a DT drop. The dirtiest play in the book for Protoss. If there's one thing that Terrans hate, it's DT drops. I think the last time... I always make this joke, but somewhere in Korea, Artosis is like rolling around in his bed sensing a DT drop coming. Because I think it was TSL2, he was casting it. And I think Idra, or Idra, I don't even know how you say his name properly, got DT dropped, and he was just so angry. It's so funny. But I get the feeling we're going to see a little bit of an angry Artosis from this game as this DT drop works. It's the most frustrating thing to deal with in general in this matchup, because you think scans are the answer, but then they drop the DT, you scan and they pick it up, and then suddenly you can't do anything, you've run out of scans and you die. And you die. It's horrible. But we're going to have the first robo coming in, or the first shuttle coming in. 2 DTs going to be coming in as well. Now we do have a single... Oh my god, is he going to see the shuttle? Oh, Radley is a king. Look at this scouting. He now knows there's a shuttle. He knows there's some kind of drop coming. What is his reaction going to be? We've got a starport coming in, which is obviously going to help for the Wraith. Now against Reaver, the Wraith is the best counter, because usually you would bring a Zealot rather than a Dragoon. But against DTs, you may be able to kill the shuttle, but if the DTs land in your base, you die. So let's hope that we're going to see some kind of detection, because there is still no detection here for Radley at all. And this could be a very, very quick game from the Ghost King. I really hope we don't see him fall over like this. We've got the Academy coming in, there's still no engineering bay. And this is getting worse and worse. Oh my goodness. My heart's beating fast right now for Radley. Because how is he going to hold on? 2 DTs are going to end this game. It's very, very likely. The Academy is not yet done. The scanners are nowhere near done. The Wraith is coming out. Now, if he can feign the fact he's got detection, which is basically impossible. I mean, he doesn't even have, what's it called? Mines. What he needs to do is basically give up his main, which is something you never, ever, ever want to do. Now, the one important thing is the Wraith is chasing... the Wraith should be chasing the shuttle. Now, if he can kill the shuttle, or at least zone it away long enough, when his scanners come in, he can scan and kill the DTs, but all of his tanks are going down. This is so rough. And look at this, the Comsat's going to go down before it can finish because DTs do so much damage. Even if he builds a scanner, he's got no units that can kill the DTs now. Now, we do have vultures, as you can see, there's no mines. He is doing his best to try and zone out the DTs the best he can. He's not taken too many SCV losses, but he's been losing a lot else. There is only one base from SFCA. The second Nexus is coming up, and the first scan is a dud. He's not even going to be able to kill the first DT. And that is when you know things are rough as Terran, because how do you deal with this? You just can't. The second scan is going to come out. He will eventually be able to kill one of the scanners. We've got SFCA pushing forward with Dragoons. He knows his opponent has no units. Oh no, one of the vultures dies. He does get a DT, but there's no mines. There's going to be no more scans. Did he kill the scanner? No, he didn't. He didn't force it down with the SCVs. And this is a little bit rough. Poor old Ghost King is getting ghosted by the DTs. But Radley isn't dead. Radley still has a worker lead. Yes, he lost his tanks. But SFCA has nothing that can actually kill him. He's got a DT in his base. It doesn't matter. He's lost a lot of tanks. It doesn't matter, because basically there's no units coming in. He did kill the shuttle as well, it looks like, so there's no way of the... No, he didn't. The shuttle survived, but it's over here doing nothing. The second scan should be coming in very, very shortly. Or the third scan, I guess this will be. There we go. He's going to kill the DT. And all of a sudden, Radley is fine. He's got his second scanner now. He's got enough scans to be able to deal with what he needs to deal with. He does need to be careful not to lose the DT. Now, I think the SFCA feels the shuttle is dead because he's not using it. And it's possible. If someone's chasing your shuttle with a Wraith, you just expect it to be dead, right? You wouldn't expect someone to leave it alive. There's no reason to. Now the tank is going to be able to zone out these Dragoons. There's no way of mining through this, so there's no way of SFC attacking. The shuttle is still not doing anything. The tank is in a very precarious position. Does need to be careful with that. Okay, it looks like a shuttle has come in. It's actually a second shuttle, so he did forget this one existed. It is easy enough to do that. Now, are we going to be able to see Radley hold on? He's got a lot of SCVs here to help defend. But he doesn't have... Well, I think he has Siege, but he doesn't want to use it just yet. We still don't have Mines. And this is rough. We do have a... Oh, we have Wraith trying to kill the shuttle, but he can't quite manage it. Radley is down to just 2 tanks. One of the Dragoons does go down. Oh, and this is nice SCV control by Radley. Wow, getting that Dragoon is so hard. But is he going to be able to hold on? It's so rough. We're going to have more Dragoons rallying on over into the shuttle, into the main base. More SCVs have been pulled. He can kill these Dragoons with SCV. Oh my god, SCVs. His SCV micro is so good. It's so hard to make this work. And as I say that, he lets all the Dragoons run away. But it's so difficult to surround units with SCVs. We've still got an SCV deficit for Radley, but he is still trying to hold on. This tank is in a relatively good spot to kill at least a couple of the Dragoons before it goes down, but no, the tank is going to go down as well. And I think the Ghost King may be in an unrecoverable position here. It's a little bit rough. It is sad to admit. We have the science facility ready already. Maybe he can make some magic happen with some nukes. But I'm not so sure. It's going to be rough, but SFCA doesn't have too many units back at home. He is just going to have to kind of... always got the other shuttle back again. Okay. Are we going to see a covert ops? I mean, if we saw a covert ops now, it would be the riskiest covert ops possible, I would say. We've got more tanks coming in. We do have siege mode, which means he is going to be able to hold on moving forward. SFCA with a tank or with a probe up here, just checking out what's going on. Now SFCA is only on 2 bases. He's got Reaver coming in, because when you go DT, why not follow it up with Reaver? You've killed 3 Wraiths, so why not, you know? Let's just add insult to injury to the poor Terran who's basically limping on through the game. The science facility right now isn't doing too much, but if he can get a vessel out, it'd actually be very good to cut out these observers. He does have a bunker here which is going to help defend this as well. And he also does have the engineering bay, but he can't really afford shuttles. Now he did scan, he sees... Okay, he sees shuttles loading up. I don't think he saw the Reaver though. But he does know there's 2 shuttles, so this is going to be a Polish recall coming in into the main base. Actually, I just realized this is the dirtiest shuttle known to man. 2 DTs, a Reaver, and 2 Dragoons. Someone stop this man. It's not fair what he's doing. This is against the rule. Against the... You can't do both at once. You just can't. It's not fair. How can you defend against both? Oh, now that... Oh my god, this bunker gonna finish it. Oh, can he get the... Oh, yes he does. But he can't save that. Okay, the bunker's gonna die. The natural is gonna have to be evacuated here. There's no way, shape or form he's defending this. But the shuttles have flown away. Unfortunately, the comsat's gonna go down. Oh no, he used the wrong comsat. Did he just... Okay, he's still got scans. Okay, we're still okay. We're okay. No vessel still, but we're okay. Radley down to 1 base, 30 SCVs. The buildings have been evacuated. And the barracks is even going to go down here, which is another 150 minerals that poor Radley doesn't have. But Radley wants to keep the dream alive of aSh in the series. He doesn't want to lose again. He's had a little bit of a losing streak, which it's very unfortunate for Radley because he is a very good player. And he just keeps coming up against like insane players. And he just keeps barely losing. But this game, he was really dealt a bad hand. He went for a good build. But the trouble is, he got countered. Oh my god, if he uses this SCV to block, that would be godlike. Oh, he blocks it. He scans as well. He's going to be able to kill these DTs. He kills the Reaver. He blocks any Scarabs from hitting the tanks, which is the most important thing. And he clears it up. Nicely done, but triple shuttle coming in. Oh no. This is going from bad to worse. The Reaver shuttle is going to go down. 2 Reaver Scarabs going down immediately on these tanks. He falls back. The Wraiths do escape once again. The command center is in a risky position. Now here is the moment. He can go and get these 3 shuttles. Does he notice it? Is the first shuttle going to go down? The tanks at the back going to help defend against these Reavers for the time being. And he doesn't get the shuttle, unfortunately. He's coming back with his units. He has to use as much as he can to kill these Reavers because they are doing so much damage to him. Why is this tank at the back not shooting? Okay, it is, but just very not much. That doesn't make any sense in English. Now, triple shuttle gonna be getting ready to load back in. Where did those Wraiths go? They're in the main. So if he can kill the shuttles, it's still not too bad. Radley is going to be able to expand again. He's got his command center up here. He's got a decent number of SCVs. But we still don't have the money to go into Ghost just yet. And that is the sad thing. Now, any units that go in here are basically dead. Because these shouldn't land. As long as Radley can get in, then we should be able to go forward. Now we do have a turret coming up here. This is going to help him defend against these triple shuttles. Scans coming in to try... Well, yeah, I think he actually scanned the observer. He was looking around for those, but the triple drop coming in. The tank at the back. Is this going to be enough to hold on? The Wraith's going to come in. Going to snipe the shuttles at the very least. Or at least one of them. But with the... Oh, the repair. Can he get the repair down? No, it's so rough. This is such a poor position for Radley to be dealt. He did his best given what happened. But defending against the DT drop with no form of detection is so difficult. He managed to hold on. But it's tough. He's taking so much damage every time SFCA comes in here. He lost a ton of SCVs there. I mean, he can rebuild them, he can still try and hold on. But this one Zealot is just doing so much damage. Looks like he's trying to keep his tank alive. This is one of the most important units in the game, but unfortunately it does go down. Dragoons, very good units. And this was a rough game for poor Radley. Radley holds on again, but he's now 30 supply against 102. And it would take a miracle to come back in here, but given the fact that Radley was dealt such a bad hand, no detection into a DT drop, he has done incredibly well to come back here to this point. Now, obviously he is very far behind where he wants to be. There is a cannon here as well, just to be annoying, making it very difficult for Radley to break out of those minerals. And triple shuttle coming back in again, and this is probably going to be the nail in the coffin. Radley doesn't have that many units. His tank is actually sieged on top of the mines. The shuttle coming back in. They're going for the natural. Now this could actually be quite good if... Oh, the targeting has just not been on Radley's side here whatsoever. The turrets really aren't being kind to him. A lot of SCVs are going to be able to get away on the right hand side. The shuttles do all go down. And Radley is still technically holding. He's still holding on. SFCA still only has 2 bases. One of them is fully mined out. Radley is actually quite healthy in his main still, where he's been forced away from mining so often. And as long as he manages to target these Reavers immediately, he should be able to hold on to this. Okay, he gets one of the Reavers. The Wraith coming out here, giving vision for the tanks. Oh no, the Zealots. Oh, the Mind Drag. And I think this might be the nail in the coffin. This is pretty much the final remaining units here for Radley. He can't secure his natural again. Well, at least now he can, but it's rough. I think I've said it's rough about 100 times this series, but here comes another 3 shuttles, another 3 sets of units that Radley is not going to be able to defend against. The other Reaver does go down, the Dragoon's getting on top of the tank. And, oof, unfortunate for Radley, but GG. Is SFCA going to unload on the mines? No. Okay. Well, wait, was this on slow-mo the whole time? Oh, it was on slow. It was on fast. How did I do that? What the hell? Sorry guys, that took a lot longer than it should have done. I felt the game was a little bit slow, and I was like, no. No, it's not slow. It's not me being crazy. Well, there we go. So we're on faster for that one. When we get back after the short break, we'll be heading into game number 3.
I am the Scatman. Para pa pi pa pa para pum. Pa pa para pum. Para pi pa pa para pum. Pa pa para pum. Para pi pa pa para pum. I am the Scatman. Scooby dooby dooby pa. Scooby dooby dooby pa. Scooby dooby dooby pa. I am the Scatman.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into the 3rd game of the series. Starting us off here for aSh is going to be Desarque. Not too many games played for him, but he did beat Koga on the Mancha, which was a very, very good win. Wait, did he beat Koga? Why do I not remember that happening? I can't imagine Koga losing a game, but I guess he must have done. That was only like 2 weeks ago as well. Why can I not remember that game at all? But either way, really, really nicely done to beat Koga. I remember now. I think he killed him with a Reaver. That's the thing. You get upsets in best of ones. That's the best thing about best of ones, guys. Oh, it's DTs on the Mancha. Oh, okay. So DTs continue being the best unit in the game. They can kill Zerg on their own, they can kill Terran on their own, and they can kill Protoss on their own. I don't actually think there's another unit that can outright kill an entire, like, all 3 races just on their own. He did proxy DTs against Koga. Thank you guys in chat for reminding me of a game that I could not remember at all. But let's have a look at his opponent. It's going to be last for Valhalla team. It is going to be a PvP, and it should be a good one. PvP last is incredibly good at 83% win rate overall, 76% win rate against all the races put together, and he's got a fairly good win rate in the last 10 games. So it's going to be rough, but we're going to be heading on to Andromeda, which is one of the more standard maps in terms of how things go. I would say that we definitely have a better look at PvP here than some of the other maps. We've only had 4 of them, but we've definitely had a good mix. Like, we had a long PvP between DeWalt and King Toss, we had a short one between Cruiser and Rota. We had Sugo versus Tech, which was pretty good, and Sugo versus Dreamer as well. So let's head in to the next game, and then we can go into let's go into game 3 of Mind Flayer. The amount of pro games I've seen between Protoss and Zerg, where a Protoss will get a DT in the main base and the natural and kill all the drones, and the Zergs just leave. Like, it happens. DTs can definitely kill Zerg on their own, even at the pro level. DTs are good units. Like, if the, you know that tier list that Artosis made? The way I view it, S+ is Dark Templar, because they're so good. It's probably not true, but it's cool. Let's see if we'll get some DTs in this game. Game number 3. Okay, starting us off in the top right hand corner, there is the, I guess this is Peach, Protoss player, fighting for Valhalla team. It's last. And spawning down here in the bottom right hand corner in the orange, fighting for aSh, it's Desarque. Now we are going to have a PvP. PvP, you may be looking at this matchup and thinking, I hate PvP, it's not good. Well, you haven't seen the right PvPs. We've had some very good PvPs throughout the course of the STPL, and I think this one is going to be no different. Now, one thing I just want to quickly do, I don't know if I can do this, like, have I got anything that can, I know what I can do. I'm going to bring up a cheerful. Now, do we have another cheer for either? I don't think we've got a cheer for either of these players. Do we have one for aSh? Well, we've got a couple for aSh, but do we have like a newer one? Because if we do, I'll use that. Yes, we do. We have a really good one from Lucky Noob, actually. So let's bring this up, because what I want to do is I want to double check we're definitely on fastest. I'm fairly certain we are, but I don't want to spoil anything. So here we go. Let's have a look at this cheerful that Lucky Noob made. And while we do that, I'll double check. Yeah, we're definitely on fastest this time, so we're not doing too bad. PvP is not the most boring matchup. The most boring matchup by far is ZVZ, and it's not the pro gamer Korean, it is another Korean called Last. ZVZ is by far the most boring matchup. Every single game of ZVZ looks exactly the same. Every single ZVZ is exactly the same. There's very little build variation. The whole thing comes down to either winning with Lings, trading evenly with Lings, and then one player just building one more muta than the other one and winning the micro battle. The only good thing about ZVZ is that it's short. That's my opinion. But genuinely, like, PvP, there's so many little nuances, so many different builds, so many different things you can do. And if you go late game in PvP, like, late game in ZVZ is just more Mutalisks, right? Late game in ZVZ is very, very rare, but all that you ever see is one player or both players go mass muta, and one player will possibly go in snare, or they'll try and get to plague, and then there'll be a big muta battle and then the game will end, because one player will get the better engagement. So it'll just be the start of the game, just later on. And it's definitely not Ultralisk or Lurkers. There is no way it's Ultralisk or Lurkers. I've never seen a Hive CVZ with Ultralisks. But PvP, like late game PvP, you can get into weird situations with like carriers versus Dark Archons and stuff like that. And I know there's probably someone in chat thinking like, well, you're wrong, because there's tons of build diversity in ZVZ. When you build your pool is not build diversity. Like, going for different tech is build diversity. Now, we've got an engagement at the top of the ramp, pretty good. By last, getting on top of the Desarque Zealots. Looks like definitely a better end of the engagement for our Korean player here for Valhalla team. And Desarque falling back to his gateways. Double Dragoons are coming in. Someone calling it Terran propaganda. If it was Terran okay, every Terran other than me hates Protoss players. I prefer Protoss players. I don't like Zerg. TVP, much better matchup than TVZ to play. I find it so much easier. Zergs are all cheaters at low level. They're all cheaters, all of them. And TVT is one of the best matchups, Packrat. I'm sorry. It doesn't take 2 hours. Okay, it looks like we are going to have those probes. Well, we're going to have the Zealots cleared up. Very, very nice probe drilling by Desarque. But to do this, he's losing out on a lot of mining time. And in that, you can see the minerals of Last going up a lot more. Last is getting ready to go in to a lot more probes overall. We've now got a chat, we've got Migway saying that maybe Speedling Micro is more fun to see than Gateway units. Is there really, like, Zergling Micro? I mean, honestly, it's usually one player sitting at the top of the ramp and someone trying to bust up, and then muters come and just end the game. So, I don't know. I would much rather watch Zealot versus Zealot Micro. Zealot versus Zealot Micro is so much better because the units are so much more hardy. And like it's a longer battle, so you can see a lot more like micro coming in. I do apologize for not talking about PvP in this PvP. If there's someone watching in chat and being like, oh, this guy doesn't talk about the game, I'm very sorry, but it is PvP, it's early game. We've had both players trading pretty evenly, we've got both players getting ready to go for an expansion. Looks like Desarque is going to be the one trying to push. Now this could be a little bit ill-fated, it is 6 versus 6. But one of the units has already been damaged. Looks like he is going to think better of this. I mean, going into the defender's advantage is definitely not what you want to do. Balancing, I like that most Terrans hate Protoss, I hate Zerg, therefore my opinion is more worthwhile. Well, I mean, it's true, right? Most Terrans most Terrans hate Protoss, but they've just got to learn how to play, right? That's how it goes. You know, I'm so good at TVP, I don't even play the game anymore. I need to play more, I just don't have the energy to play. It's sad. Brood War is definitely one of my, well, it is my favorite game of all time. But genuinely, like, when I try and play, I just can't. It's just so frustrating to me to actually play this game because I look at this game for validation and I can't find validation in this game because I am so bad. It's so stressful, I just get angry at myself and then I quit for a few months. Thing is, like a couple of months ago, I was playing all the time. And I was getting a little bit better again. I was feeling really confident. And then I stopped playing. I said TVP balance, not TVT. Okay, we've got a little bit of a contain coming up from Last. It's not too impactful. We should have the Reaver breaking its way down the ramp. 4 gateways coming in for last. No additional tech just yet. There is a Robo, of course. But the Reaver is kind of the big equalizer in this situation because it's going to give Desarque the ability to move down his ramp. And that's really, really good. Desarque, we've of course got the Reaver upgrade done. We've got the Reaver tech done. We've got shuttle speed coming in. Only 2 gateways though, which means the gateway count is, or the gateway unit count is going to be a lot lower from last, from Desarque. So that the supplies, at least for the immediate future, are going to be in favor of last quite considerably. Yeah, we're going to have up to 6 gateways now by last. This is going to mean it's a little bit harder to take a 3rd base. Last is actually sending a lot of units out to the left-hand side of the map, getting ready to come in for a flank. He believes that Desarque is going to probably push when he gets his shuttle speed done. So let's have a look. Extra gateways starting to come in. We've got extra pylons at the top. There's going to be 4 gateways now for Desarque. Observatory is done. And now we're hitting the moment. Kind of like the one in game number 1, which did feature a Zerg and a Protoss, where neither player can really attack into each other, so we are just seeing them both power up as much as they can. We've got Last going for a quicker 3rd base. Desarque not quite managing that just yet. But the reason for this is Desarque has no information. Last knows what tech his opponent's going for, he's defended against it pretty well. And he's got units in the middle. Like, he doesn't need to worry about anything, whereas when you look at the vision of Desarque, the whole world outside of his base is a lonely and dark place, a very scary place that you don't necessarily want to go to. Now, if I was, like, obviously Desarque is way above my level at any point, but playing, like, this reminds me of when I first started playing Brood War. Like, one of the things that I struggled with the most, and I mean this kind of matters at every stage of play, if you don't have any information, it's so hard to play, because it really knocks your confidence when you don't know what's going on in the middle of the map. Because for all Desarque knows, Last has got 6 bases right now. And when you're first playing, like when I first played, it just meant I was unable to do anything. Now Desarque is obviously a lot better than I am, than I ever will be probably. But he is in a position now where he does have some scouting information, so this could mean we'll see him play with a little bit more confidence. 3rd base, of course, coming in for both players is going to be super important. Last is going to mine out first if we go super long here. But we have passed the 11-minute mark, which means we're going into the mid-game at the very least in this PvP. So 6 gateways are going to be the order of play for both the players. We've got the Citadel of Adun coming up for Last, whereas Desarque once again is a little bit further ahead with this tech, going into his Templar Archives already. And this is a very good map for storm drops. Dropping up here, dropping here, dropping down here, it's all good. Now this is very annoying. We've got no storms available at the moment. We've got a observer looking at the minerals. There's not really many units that can come in to defend this. And this is actually a lot of damage being taken by Desarque. This is one of the really cool things about Andromeda. Yes, the base is free, but it's also hard to defend. If your opponent gets vision over the mineral line, I'm fairly certain every single unit can attack that mineral line from the low ground if they've got range. I think even technically a Reaver can shoot at it, and the Scarab tries to run the whole way around. I don't think it works very well, but... As a matter of fact, does that happen? I don't think it does. I think I'm making that up. Extra gateway coming in from Last. Let's see how that affected the probe count. Not very much. Still very similar on the probe count. Obviously the supply differential is still a lot bigger for Last because he had the gateways a lot sooner. Delayed his tech to do this. Look how lucky this Dragoon is. Cast a curse. Ignore me. Okay, how many shots is that going to avoid? Look at this. Look how good high ground is. Look, he survived. Oh no, it's a different Dragoon. Never mind. Oh, now this is a very good... I thought that was going to be a scouting probe, but this is a very good moment. He is going to be able to get a Reaver into the natural expansion. We've got a lot of units just milling around in the middle of the map here for last. He is getting ready to take a third base. But here comes the Reaver. What is... Oh my god, the Scarab could be massive. But no, he dropped in the wrong place. Oh, the Scarab bugged out on the minerals. And that's a little bit unfortunate here. The Reaver is going to survive for another day and going to fly away. And he's actually going to fly into the expansion. So this is definitely the luckiest Reaver. Wait, is he going to see it? I don't think he is. Now we've got a fourth base coming up here for Desarquet as well. This one is going to be on the island. Now this is actually a very good choice for the expansion because the island base is very hard to attack in general, and your opponent is not likely to go into any shuttles anytime soon. They have center of the map control. They don't really have a reason to go for any drops. They feel ahead. They've got a massive supply advantage. Now shuttles will eventually come out, but he has to build his observers first and things like that, so... They're either going to be used on the island as defense just to shore up this base. There's going to be some cannons coming in as well. Storm. I don't know if it came in. Yes, it would have done because we've got High Templar here already. And we're going to see some probes transferring over here as well. So this is pretty good. Now looks like Last is going to get ready to take a fifth base as well. So both players going up to a ton of bases right now. But just look at the army of Last compared to Desarquet. Like the unit count differential from getting the faster gateways is massive in PvP. But we will have Last with Defender's advantage, so if Last can hold on, that would be very, very good. Although it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very, very hard. We probably should take that Reaver back, but he does need to defend the base, so... Now here we go, looks like we're going to have a big engagement. We do have a big supply differential, but look at the storms as they come in. The Reaver's going to be doing so much damage to these Zealots as well. And Desarquet's army is just killing it right now. This is the most cost-effective trade he could possibly ask for. And the High Templar are running back. Does he not have Storm? He doesn't have Storm. He forgot Storm. And that's actually a massive mistake. The supply difference is coming back up here, and both of them are very, very similar. And that was perfect for Desarquet. That's exactly what he needed to happen. That was a really, really crazy attack in by Last. If he'd had Storm, he could have broken that for sure. It looks like Last getting ready to try and transfer some probes up to the top left-hand corner. There is a... oh my goodness, this is quite possibly the worst timing by Last. He's going to pull back, he's going to miss the shuttle, and there is going to be a triple... well, why is this Zealot not going in the shuttle? I guess he just want to get in. But this is going to be rough. Desarquet sees the base. Is he going to drop on the high ground? This is going to be a lot of... oh my god, he's going to wait for all the probes to transfer there. Oh, this could be bad. If these probes don't go into the... okay, they're not going into the natural. I was going to say, if he goes into the natural and he stacks up, this is not going to be good whatsoever. Not the best storm there by Desarquet, but he is going to be able to help kill a few probes. Definitely should go to the main base, because there's a lot more probes in this location. Look at this. As soon as Last units go to the top left, he's going to go to the top right, and Last knows this. He's going to retreat. But it's a fake out. He's not actually going over there. But with that storm drop, he actually does manage to get a supply advantage in workers. Oh no. Is he going to get away? Yeah, he is going to get away just. Okay, so a lot of gateways. That's 4, 8, 10 gateways for Last. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 gateways from Desarque. Both players are maxed out. Let's check the upgrades. It's +2 for Desarque, +2 for Last. Last getting ready to go for a big push in the middle of the map, but it looks like we could have a big engagement here. We are going to have a lot of units coming in from both sides. A big concave, though, for Desarque. Really going to help this out. The storms from both players pretty good so far. But I definitely feel Desarque is getting a better end of this engagement. If he can storm the Zealots at the bottom end, this could be devastating. But both players are trading very evenly. So many Zealots have gone down. The Archon's not really helping too much. But now things are starting to get a little bit risky here for Desarque in the middle of the map. Last, though, his Zealots are all going down. It's going to be Dragoons versus Dragoons. And there's more Dragoons for Desarque. Last, it's Archon versus Archon. And if we check the unit supplies, Desarque takes a massive lead after that engagement. He's got more probes, he's got more units, and he's got more gateways. But we do have... Oh, in fact, he doesn't have more gateways now. But can Desarque make something happen with this? It looks like he's going to send a probe to expand down to the bottom left-hand corner. And was that his own Dragoon? I'm not answering that question again, Producer Unknown. You very well know that it isn't. But looks like we are going to have Desarque moving some units into the middle of the map. Just a little bit of a mistake. He needs both of his armies together. Otherwise, things are getting a little bit difficult. But, I mean, we do have an army going up to the top left-hand corner. Can he take down this base? There's going to be a lot of units coming in behind to help defend this. Can he kill the Nexus? Is it even worth killing the Nexus? There's so many units that are going to go down here that 400 minerals doesn't seem worth it. He did get a lot of cannons, though, and he does kill the base at the very least. This Archon with 12 kills, continuing to absolutely decimate the armor and health on these Zealots. We got 2-1 upgrades done for both players again. And we actually have Last now with a supply lead. That definitely I wouldn't say is worth it. We've got 3 observers up here just to make sure there's no triple cloak DTs. Oh, and Producer Unknown, I thought you were memeing because there's people who meme in the chat about this, but it's not the Korean Pro Last, it's a different one. It's because people always ask that question every time this guy plays, and he plays a lot, so... Okay, this could be rough. There's actually no storms remaining down here, and I think this could be game. There's so many Archons, so many Zealots, but Zealots are not going to help you against Archons. We've got a lot of units coming in from behind as well to try and entrap the units, but the Archon count is just ridiculous, and the tech is really starting to come in here, really starting to make things hard here for Desarque. And oh my god, we actually have an Arbiter. If he can keep the Arbiter alive, I don't think there's no Observer down here. Keep the Arbiter alive, it's so important. If you can cloak your units, he's got no way of seeing them. Oh no, Storm going down on the Arbiter as well. That's very, very unfortunate. And I think this is going to be it. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to his gateways. We do have a lot of cannons coming up down here, which is going to mean he can expand again. But it's whether or not he can hold on to his main. Now there is a drop coming down here, but it's not going to be enough. GG. Desarque taps out and Last takes the series 3-0 for... what are we called? For... Valhalla team. It's officially hit the point of rock bottom for me where I forget how to speak English, so I do forgive me, but there's also a walkover win for Galaxy over Patak, so I usually wouldn't show this part, but there we go. It's I've lost where I am. It's all good. Let's give the win to Galaxy as well. So it's a 4-0 win in favor of it's a 4-0 win in favor of Valhalla team. That's definitely a win that they want. They badly want that semi-finals team. Oh, I crossed out the Patak info on the TLNet thread by accident, but Patak didn't show up, basically. I just need to update that. Albert, are you return on Team Liquid? I guess you are, but 4-0 victory. We had some pretty good games. Radley versus SFCA was probably the hardest to watch, just because Radley got so utterly build order countered by the DT drop. Last versus Desarque was pretty good. Desarque had some good engagements, nearly came back, but then just overbuilt Zealots and didn't build enough tech units, and did get run over by a ton of Archons coming on over here, and the additional bases that we had from last. So that is going to be, I'll put an end to the stream for today. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys on Friday. We're going to have 2 series. The Friday series, we're going to have a Rev versus Net Wars and DM versus Red. So you won't want to miss those. They should be good. And I'll see you guys then. Massive shout out as well to our sponsors, Liquipedia, Matcherino, and Esport Fund for being so damn good. And I'll see you guys next time.